Good afternoon, everyone. It's Penny from FCSS, back again for another Caregiver Café Live. Hope everyone's doing well, keeping busy and enjoying spring-like weather. So today, I'd like to bring you part 2 in building resiliency. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about welcoming disappointment and mistakes and failure, and how that can help build that skill. So it would be lovely if I had some people joining and asking questions. But if not, I'll just give you a little information and we'll chat a bit about that. As always, if you have questions, put them in the comments. Yeah, so I'll just get started. So I'll just touch briefly on, in case you missed last week, what resiliency means. What does resiliency mean to you? To me, it's sort of the ability to continue on when things are difficult, to work through difficult situations in a healthy way, and to, be able to take what life throws at you without it upsetting the apple cart too much. So it's made up of coping skills, basically. And our hope is that as caregivers, we can teach our children healthy ways to cope. Yeah. So today, the focus is on welcoming disappointment and failure and mistakes, which can be a tall order, right? Last week, we talked a little bit about big feelings. Disappointment definitely is one of those big feelings. So for us as caregivers and parents, it can be really, really hard to watch our little people struggle or be in distress. That triggers something very instinctive in us. And we want to take that away. That's our natural instinct. We want to fix the problem. We want to minimize the distress. And that's normal. That's part of being a parent and having these strong connections with these little people. And that's important because it helps us keep them safe. So that's where the difficulty comes in trying to do something a little bit different. So when we allow those feelings to be, when we let them be disappointed, let them make mistakes, and let them fail, this provides a real life experience and learning opportunity. And just, I'll ask you to think for a minute about what it might mean to our little people when we swoop in and try to fix things for them. What message might we inadvertently be sending them? Personally speaking, I know that with my oldest, I certainly never meant to imply that I thought she wasn't capable of handling things. That's really what was happening. By my own inability to accept what she was going through, I was conveying to her that I didn't think she could handle it. And of course, we don't say that, but that can often be the message they receive. So even though it can be uncomfortable to allow those feelings and to embrace them and welcome them, it's really important. And it's hard for us because most adults haven't learned how to do that, how to welcome in things that we consider unpleasant, hard things, difficult things. But you can do it. We all can do it. And we all can learn together, because that's parenting, right? Trial and error. We make mistakes. We build resilience. So you're the buffer, right? So you're the buffer between your child and stress. And it's important for you to help them through it. Not over it, not under it, not around it, unfortunately, but through it. Kind of like the Bear Hunt song, right? Can't go over it, can't go under it. Have to go through it. Yeah, that's the gem. That's the gift. Your belief that their feelings won't destroy them. Then they learn that their feelings won't destroy them. And that's really important. It sets a strong foundation for life. And it helps them in all kinds of opportunities that they're going to face in their life. You want your children to be able to thrive with or without you as they grow. So these are the building blocks for that thriving. And something that might be helpful is to think about just shifting perspective a little bit. Sometimes that can be helpful for caregivers. To think about disappointment, mistakes, failure, and the associated feelings around that, the sadness, as a learning opportunity. So often those things can be labeled as unpleasant or hard, and while that might be true, if we shift our thinking and think of them as an opportunity to learn, that may be helpful to help you sort of regulate your own feelings before you can be there for your child. And that might help us to allow the natural flow of disappointment. And children are beautiful at working through that natural flow of disappointment, sadness, tears, and then they come to this place of acceptance. And when we're there to support them, it's really can be quite lovely. Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about? Yeah. Mistakes and failures, yes. So they are also opportunities for growth and inevitable for all of us. So think about how we can use those opportunities in our day-to-day lives to teach skills. We can teach problem solving and all of those things. And build in our children a sense that, you know what? Things happen, but I got this. And my grown-up, my person, is helping me. They've got my back. And us together leads into, I can do it. Yeah. So specifically speaking, what might this look like? What kind of things as caregivers can you do? So take a minute just to think about in your own home what that might look like. What situations are difficult for your little people, and how could you apply these ideas? So one thing that's important, as always, we're the model, so trying to keep a positive outlook on things. So reframing, just like I talked about earlier about, thinking about it as a learning opportunity, because our mindset and our attitudes about what's going on is conveyed whether we use words to convey that or not. So holding space for their feelings, saying things like, I see you're really disappointed. It didn't turn out at all how you had hoped. Putting words to those in a calm way. It's like conveying the message of, hey, you know what? This is totally normal and okay. Everyone gets disappointed in life. Mistakes happen. We fail sometimes, and then just hold the space. I'll hold the space for you to feel what you're feeling. And when you're ready, I'll be here and we can work through it, talk it out. What does that look like for your children? You know that better than anyone. Is it a hug? Is it talking? Is it physical, jumping jacks, having a wrestle? Whatever your child needs once they've had a chance to feel the feelings, to sort of work through them. And I would encourage you to really fight the instinct to minimize or distract or shut down those feelings. Even though it's really hard, it's so hard to see our children cry and struggle. Really remember, what I talked about earlier about what message that sends. They want you to see that you can handle what they're feeling, and that conveys that you believe they can as well. And encourage them to do things on their own. Lots of opportunities to make mistakes and to fail, and to talk about all right, that didn't really work out the way you wanted. So what do you think you could do differently next time? You know, bring in the problem solving aspect. Remind them no one is perfect. Life isn't about being the best or winning all the time. You know, there's beauty and meaning in our experiences, and everyone brings their own unique attributes and abilities and skills into this world. And that you'll help them, right? You got this. This is tough stuff. And that's what I have for you today. So thanks for listening. As always, treat yourself well, treat yourself with kindness, take care of yourself and your little people. And I will be back next week at 1 o'clock on Monday with something new to talk about. If you need any further information or you want to know what programming we're doing, www.fcss.ca, or if you have any questions or need further information about the topic we've talked about, please email me, penny.pittman@fcss.ca. Thanks everyone. Talk soon.